Rise and shine. It's time to get the day started with the morning show of record for the Homestead community. That's right, it's time for the Farm2Table Direct Show morning edition. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you're all staying warm. It's cold, still pretty cold out there this morning. And speaking of cold, well, let's go see our good friend Jack for the Redneck Weather Report. All right. All right, what's going on, Jack? There we go. Whoop, where'd it go? It moved my screen on me. All right, hang on. There we are. All right. Oh, and
7 degrees. Feels like, well, good morning, rednecks. It is 27 degrees. Feels like 18. It's January the 13th, 2025. We're going to get to 46 degrees today. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow.
well, that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate weather indeed. Good morning, Scotty. Glad to see you in with us this morning. I hope all is well over there. I know you've got some stuff coming up today, and definitely in our prayers for that. Anyway, Jack's got a pretty accurate weather report, so I'm not going to bother to click on my little weather app. That was pretty doggone accurate for what's going on over here in this neck of the woods. Hey, good morning, Robbie. Glad to have you in with us. The wild huckleberry, and of course, Lone Cross with Scotty out there. He's two good guys right there, active in the community. Glad to have you with us, man. Well, all right. Just a reminder to y'all and anybody else, this is a live chat event, so please join in. Uh, Time for today's reality smackdown. Uh, the death toll from Los Angeles continues to rise. It's risen to 24. Uh, yeah, no wonder he's sick, Scotty. You're right. I would agree with I'd agree with that out there in a t-shirt. I was thinking that last night on the live. But anyway, yeah, going out 27 degrees in a t-shirt, 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, uh, back to the headlines. I'm sorry. The death toll in Los Angeles wildfires risen to 24. The city is bracing for 3 more days of high winds. I read that the Santa Anas are getting ready to blow again. They're expecting another round of that. I don't know. It's There's a lot of stuff, a lot of conspiracy. People can put their tinfoil hats on us. What's going on out there in California? There's a lot of legitimate reasons why things are the way they are, and they're not good. It was an ongoing problem even when I lived out there years ago with perfect conditions with very, very, very low humidity, so things dry out. And then the Santa Ana winds, which can blow in excess of 100 miles an hour, they are and they're a very warm wind, and it pushes hard. It does a weird thing out there, but and then there's some questionable forestry management, some questionable wildlife, management processes out there that where they don't do the controlled burns, they don't have the fire breaks in, and then if you get into the water stuff and kind of some of the questions of what's going on with that, it kind of makes you, lot of things going on there. And then, I said there's some pretty far out stuff that could or could be, it may or may not be true. But anyway, next, this week, more than a dozen of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet nominees will face confirmation hearings in the Senate. I know Secretary of State, several others anyway. So all the coverage of that will start this week. So politics being what politics are. We'll see how it goes. One of the hot button ones is the Secretary of Defense. I know that one's expected to face a lot. Maybe not, but it is going to be a test of the Republican Senate, so we will see. And last month's collapse of the Syrian government has prompted fears that the ISIS terrorist group, which overran much of the country a decade ago, could make a comeback. Well, it would seem, based on some of the things that went on, maybe, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. It is certain concerns, and then also there's concerns with over in Gaza, but that's over there. I have another headline, but the more I read it, the more I'm going to save it for just a few more minutes. So we'll come back to it. Has to do with some stuff in Europe, and we'll come back to it in just a minute. So now for this day in history, January 10th. Talking about cold weather, 1912 in Oakland, Maryland sets a state record for negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. At least that's what the news headline said. Negative 40. I have been to negative 40, but it was in a very remote and obscure place out in the Pacific. Good morning, Teresa Jukowitz. Glad to have you in with us. Uh, anyway, very, very cold. That's all I can say. It's the dirt freezes. I mean, everything freezes at that temperature. Uh, Anyway, 1942, Henry Ford patents a method of constructing plastic auto bodies. So way back in 42, he was figuring that nonsense out, and people are driving them today. I don't know. Anyway, 1966, U.S. performs nuclear test at the Nevada test site. A lot of stuff fall out from that over the years, literally fall out, pun intended. Anyway, 1968, Johnny Cash performs for the inmates at Folsom State Prison. Folsom, California. Show is recorded for live album releases, considered one of the greatest albums he ever put out. Anyway, 2021, President Donald Trump is impeached by the U.S. House of Representatives, voting 232 to 197 for incitement of insurrection. First time history, U.S. President is impeached twice. Absolutely crazy. Hard to believe it's been that long ago. But anyway, so now I'm going to go back to this headline. I'm going to take care of this. Let me go over here to share screen. I want to bring this up so you all can see it. Um, and it's just kind of, I'm going to read some of this, and y'all can take this for what it is. This is from the European Conservative, EuropeanConservative.com. You can go check it out for yourself. Under Siege, How the War on Farmers Threatens Western Values and Global Food Security. Uh, let's see, it's going down here. Say the assault on agriculture, part of a globalist agenda, sidelines national sovereignty. Farmers are the backbone of society, ensuring that our tables are filled with food 3 times a day, every day of the week. Yet in the modern world, their indispensable role is often taken for granted. We rarely pause to consider the contents of our refrigerators connects us directly to those who labor tirelessly to sustain us. What happens if they disappear? And answer a simple start. Refrigerators remain empty. Food security, once a cornerstone of national policy and identity, is now being eroded by globalist ideologies and bureaucratic overreach, threatening not just agriculture, but but the very fabric of Western civilization. They talk about after World War II, the European understood the fragility of their food. So the creation of the European Economic Community, key component of the cooperative, was common agricultural policy in 62, clear, sustainable food. Fast forward to today, the European Union, driven by unelected bureaucrats, we know a thing or two about that, has turned its back on its founding principles. Under the guise of environmental sustainability, it's declared war on its farmers, implementing measures to force them off the land, uh, varying by country, but united in their destructive outcomes. The nitrogen emissions is scapegoat in the Netherlands, Germany, farmers taxed, same despair. Assault on farmers not found in the U.S. across the globe, agriculture under siege. U.S. and Australia, water regulations driving farmers to the brink. Canada, fertilizer restrictions. New Zealand, methane emissions. South American farmers, environmental economic pressures. Anyway, it goes on. It talks basically about socialism, about the Ukraine's Holodomor, famine that claimed millions. Similarly, Mao, Great Leap Forward in the 60s, agriculture. Uh, this person says at the heart of assault lies a global agenda spearheaded by the UN. Uh, and, I will say this that, let me get back over to that. Where was that? Okay. Uh, anyway, initiatives like Agenda 2030 and the Woke Climate Agenda, top down, they try to get rid of national sovereignty, democratic accountability, powerful non-government organizations. Uh, we get all that. The oligarchs shielded by their philanthropic facades. Uh, this one here, and I mean, it goes on. It's a good read. But this is ultimately the attack on farmers is an attack on the freedoms and values that define Western society. An empty refrigerator is not just an inconvenience, it is a symbol of dependence, vulnerability, and submission. Protect our farmers, protect our freedom, our heritage, and our future. Let us not to repeat the mistakes of history by allowing ideological zealotry and bureaucratic hubris to destroy the foundations of our civilization. Because no farmers, no food, no future. Now, I will say this: that was yep, oops, you're absolutely right. Attack on us all, 100%. Uh, And I will say this. I mean, that was from a writer in Europe, um, and like I said, if you get a chance, go over. It is. Let's see, all the way back to the top of that. The European Conservative, so EuropeanConservative.com. Just caught, it was a headline that caught me as an interesting article, and I felt bared a little bit more uh, reading than just a brief overgloss because as we can see, it's happening around the world, and that's why I picked that up is to demonstrate that uh, what we see here going on in America with the farmers and the regulations and the bureaucratic stuff going on and the overreach and demonstrated even by the California wildfires and some of that going on. And just you see all this going on. It's not just unique to here, and it's a global effort. Uh, by he mentioned the UN. There's some others, World Economic Forum, and things that we've talked about. Exactly, global initiative. It's welcome in, uh, and anyway, it's so we're under attack in that way globally because Henry Kissinger famously said, me and Keith have said, repeated it multiple times: control the food, control the people. Uh, and with the EU, it's much like some of our bureaucracy. It's unelected bureaucrats. It's people in agencies making regulations and passing them down. And so anyway, I would encourage you to keep your eyes on that. Get involved with that. We're going to take just a quick little break for us.
Hey,
So hang with
coffee
us one
lovers,
second.
want the freshest, tastiest brew? Say hello to Farm to Table Direct Coffee. At Farm to Table Direct Coffee, we offer premium beans handpicked for ripeness. Place your order, and our expert roasters get to work. Your coffee is roasted and shipped the very same day. It's that simple. Stay updated with notifications at every step. For the freshest custom roasted coffee, visit farm2tabledirect.coffee.com. That's farm, the number 2 tabledirect.coffee.com. Experience the difference Farm to Table Direct Coffee can make in your morning routine. From the farm to your table, the freshest coffee.
All right, time for a little bit of a little sponsor break, if you will, which is self-sponsored here at the Farm2Table Direct Show and the Farm2Table Direct Coffee. But anyway, it is. Hope you all got your cup of coffee with you this morning. Oh, what do we got here? And anyway, thank you for that. And we are going to move on in. Now, I just gave you that headline about stuff going on in Europe, and which honestly is going on here too. And so, part of it's what can we do about it? Hey, good morning, Joy. Glad to have you in, Joy Bartlett. Good to see you. And so, I'm going to go over today what I decided to do. I come across three different, uh, I guess you'd call how to, and that's what it said, Homestead how to. And then there's a couple of other things behind that. The Homestead how to, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on the share screen. So, let me see. Da, 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 da. Share. All right. Um, okay. As you can see, Homestead how to. Whoop, didn't mean to do that. That's going to get all these. It's ad happy over here. Anyway, Homestead how to is a website. It's homesteadhowto.com. And it is. It's a website. It's ran by a lady by the name of Tamara White. It's a website, has newsletters, blogs, articles, all of one dedicated to the how-to of the homestead life. Now, whether you're full blown into the homestead life or a backyard gardener, or honestly, we haven't decided what we are, it's a website you need to check out. A lot of videos and articles on how to start the gardening for beginners, 24 easy to grow perennials, how to make petroleum jelly, how to make homemade natural candles. Uh, there's like I said, homesteading, gardening recipes, DIY. That's what it's read on. And they also have like that 5 ways to be more self-reliant. I downloaded that. It's pretty good. Just a quick little thing. Uh, Old-fashioned lessons. Anyway, this website is uh, what I like about it. Is that it's a one-stop shop. It's a place where you can go get a lot of articles, little blog posts, and that type of thing, and they put information out. Uh, And this person she brings articles in from other people, but I read the little about column on the page. And, she's a gardener. She does things of this herself, so it's quite interesting. And it's a place you can get information. And at the end of the day, information can lead to action and can give us that step forward. And for me, I like to read what other people think about it. I like to see ideas. I may take and put a twist on them for myself, do it my way, and that's okay. That's what we should do, is do it our way. Uh, Take it, make it yours. We do a lot of that because I mean you can't learn too much. There's no such thing. You can't learn too much. The more, you're always got to be learning, because if we're learning, we're growing. And so, uh, good place to go check out. I come across it. It was in my news feed, and actually, what was there was an article on. It was tips on X number of ways to do something. But anyway, it clicked, and I followed through, and I said, "Hey, this is something I want to share with everybody." Because I mean, at the end of the day, no one person knows it all. Even the ones who've been doing it for decades, there's things they don't know, or there's things they have to learn, and they share their particular way. Um, it is, Robbie. It is a real good website, and like I said, it's good information. And like I said, there's a lot of cool DIYs, cool little how to step by steps in there, and like I said, so far, just looking over it, I enjoyed it. Read through some of it, and I thought, man, this is just a good tool to give people. Just put it in your little something to put in the toolbox to. Uh, uh, you know what? Let me see. Let me find that, Teresa, and I will. Let's see if I can get that. Let's see if I can get that. Copy. Let me go over here for you, right here, and there you go. There's the link for that, right there in the chat, Teresa. Thank you for reminding me to do that. I'm not the best. I'm not usually the one behind the scenes doing that. I'm not usually clicking on things, but there's the link in the chat box over there. Next, I want to move on to another one. Now, this one is kind of on a similar vein, um, and I'm going to tell you what it's called. This is Cultivate Newsletter. Now, this is it's a newsletter brought to you by the School of Traditional Skills. Um, and it's another site devoted to helping us to learn the DIY skills we need. I highly recommend both the Cultivate News and School of Traditional Skills, and I'll get those down to you in just a second in the chat. Holly Hickman, self-described homesteading correspondent. She takes a broadcast journalism background. Some of you may have heard us mention her in other stuff we've talked about. Anyway, she puts to work bringing an honest take on issues affecting homesteading, farming, and all things food. Now, there'll be all kinds of little things in there and how tos and that type of stuff. And all you gotta do is just on that for the newsletter, you know, is an email address and subscribe, and it'll show up in your email box. And it is another just really cool little thing there. And I'm going to drop that over here in the chat. Hang on just a second. All right. There we go. All right. There's that. And I'm going to come back to this for just a second, because I want to keep on. See, there we go. All right. Down here, because again, now here's some of the articles. Did Ben Franklin keep resolutions? Best 24 Christmas Eve poem. Now that's kind of the more easier stuff. She talks about raw milk in here, several things on that, quite a bit of other stuff. She digs in, does the job of a news reporter, calls people, and I'm going to pull this over here because let me see. Now I'm going to pull. I told you about School of Traditional Skills, and I'm going to put that in the. Now I'm going to stop sharing that one, and I'm going to go into. Let's see. Let's come back over here. There you are. Let me see. Let me post that, and then I'll take us there. School of Traditional Skills. Let me go over to that one right fast. Where am I at? I know it's there. Well, yeah. Okay. share. All right, that's this here, School of Traditional Skills. They've got a class of skills taught to you by instructors you trust, and it is a lot of the who's who. Anyway, shortcut to build homestead, self-sufficient skills matter to you. Endless hours of YouTube scouting. So many experts. What do you focus on? Where to start? And anyway, y'all can check that out. It is ran by a group of good people, and that's just one more again. One more toolbox that you can put in the toolbox right there. Like I said, highly recommend both sides. I particularly pay attention to the news, that type of stuff. It's unfortunately, I don't know if it's a bad habit or not, but it's just how I've always been. I like to read. I don't want to dig in and sit there and listen to some guy go on, on lamestream media or anything like that. I pick articles. I'll listen to podcasts. I'll listen to things like that. But I like the newsletters that come out and help us. It gives information, sometimes gives thought process. And the last couple I'm going to talk to you about is Joel Salatin. I know we talk about him a lot, and after meeting the man in person, it really does, I don't know, just made me more interested in what he had to say. And so, anyway, he's got this is Beyond Labels podcast. Dr. Joel Salatin, Dr. Cena McCullough, and this is it's more stuff he does. Both of these are from Joel Salatin, the podcast, and then there's another, it's a newsletter, a blog newsletter. But anyway, they put episodes out every Thursday, and they face the things, and you get to hear Joel's thoughts on this. And anyway, that particular one's a donation type thing. You can find them on YouTube and stuff like that as well. Keith usually sends that over to me when there's something good on that one. And then, let's see. So we go over here to this other one. And this one is the one that I get in my box every day or every week whenever they come out. And that's Musings from a Lunatic Farmer. It's a blog. And anyway, a lot of times it's the same stuff they have. They're same topics that they're on the podcast with. But I enjoy it because it just lets me hear what he's thinking, and there is a Q&A, like he will ask people's questions and that sort of thing. So again, just an information source, and it's, these two work hand in hand, as I was saying, and I enjoy, I want to go over here. Let me see, copy that. All right, let's put this in there as well. Let's see, and that's the podcast, and we will pull up over here and get we will get this one, copy, bring that over to you, pull that down. Anyway, so I get to do some other stuff today. I'm not used to doing all that. But anyway, there's some links. Again, y'all can check those out. The Homestead How-To, that one is, I really like its layout. I really like the way it's done. Because it is articles you can read at your leisure, pick through detailed instructions on how to do a lot of things. And I mean, I don't know, some of the things y'all might want to learn. For me, it's like a whole list of things. I've tried a couple of years, and you can go back and look at one or two videos that I did trying to get a garden going in containers, small containers. And man, I made a lot of mistakes, which is good because I learned from them. Some things actually did grow, which is always nice. And there's something about growing your own food and knowing that you can feed yourself. But I want to get better this year. I'm going raised beds, so getting ready to get some seeds started here in the coming weeks indoors. And once this crazy weather this freezing Arctic blasts leave the area and I can get outside and work, I've got some raised beds that I got to prep. I've got there's one part of homesteading, the homesteading attitude that resonates with me probably more than anything, and that is recycle, reuse, and repurpose. our good friend Bob Ryder with Olive Branch Aquaponics, his thing he says is it's his job to he wants to put the trash man out of a job because he wants to reuse and recycle so much stuff that his trash is virtually non-existent. And I think if you get away from packaging and plastics and things like that, it gets a little easier. But anyway, so I got these boxes. They were throwing some stuff away where I work, and I got these boxes. They're wooden, and you can stack them. So I'm going to make got a couple of different ones that I want to use to make raised bed, a couple of raised bed stuff out of, and then eventually I'd like to get into aquaponics. I'm very curious about that one, but after seeing it work and seeing what it can do, when we were covering Bob and what they do at Olive Branch, just seeing the amazing things they can grow year round, 4 growing seasons. So I may have to just start out with a greenhouse and go up from there. But anyway, it is seed planting time, seed starting time. So maybe put that on your calendar. And speaking of calendars, let's transition out into upcoming events. Right up pretty quick, January 18th and 19th. Western Reserve Homestead Summit in Lake Metro Park Farm Park, Kirtland, Ohio. That is the Western Reserve Homestead Summit. I read through it. That's looks like a good time. I know Joel's going to be speaking there, and then there's quite a few other speakers as well. A lot to learn if you're up in that area. Of course, March 21st and 22nd, Okie Homestead Expo, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets on sale now, $50 for a 2-day pass. 66 days away, and that scares me because Keith and I have a lot of stuff to get ready between here and there. The set, a lot of the equipment's already in the trailer. That's where it stays, but there's always just stuff to get ready. As we begin to talk about issues and maybe try to reach out to some of the speakers that we know up there. But we're going to try to bring a lot of interviews like we always do at the Okie Expo. It's a great time for meeting up with friends, but it's also a great time to get to sit down and pick up a little bit of knowledge, a little insight from some of the ones that we don't get to see every day. But anyway, so looking forward to that, and I'll see quite a few of y'all there. I know several have plans made. The Shindig is the next one. Shindig, Ozark Living Expo, April 25th and 26th, Jasper, Arkansas, at the Newton County Fair and Rodeo. So just search out the Shindig Ozark Living Expo, and they can get you information on that. And of course, way about in October, and I only say that because tickets are disappearing, it's Homesteaders of America Conference 2025, Front Royal, Virginia. Tickets on sale now, $50 for a 2-day pass, and the speaker lineup is incredible. But anyway, these do sell out quickly. I know they are well over halfway through their allotted number of tickets that they're going to sell. So, and they've only been on sale since the first. So, hot ticket item right there. And so, if you're out on the East Coast or if you're willing to travel, worth every penny, and it's a good organization. Homesteaders of America, you can check them out, homesteadersofamerica.com, and get signed up. Amy Fuel runs that and does a phenomenal job. So anyway, definitely. And as we get more, I know that Monty Shrunk gave us one the other night, and I've got to go back into chat and find that link. It's up, but that one's up in Iowa in February. Seems awful cold place to be in February is Iowa, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Those who've been up there, live up there a little further north, you probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, folks, that is a wrap for today on the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Thanks for joining in as we explore headlines and stories impacting our world for now and in the future. Absolutely, what we enjoy doing is bringing you information. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit that like button. Share it with your friends. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. Teresa, I'm glad you know who Amy is. I'm glad you're already plugged in there. That's awesome. Anyway, so help us spread the word. The numbers and the growth isn't just for us; it's so we can get the word out to more people. And you're absolutely welcome, Teresa. I've got to get better. I'm going to get better at that. It helped me today, actually, because I copying and pasting them links into the chat. Anytime I want to do that, I'll start having the links ready. Maybe that'll help me out. But anyway, so until next time, keep your roots deep, your vision growing. Good food starts with great people. Remember, we are #stronger together. Be a blessing to someone today. And we will see you all on the other side. Thanks for your participation. Enjoyed watching the chat. And hope you all have a great and wonderful day. And we will see you back tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I will, when I get to work and find out my work schedule, I'll have a better idea if it's going to be live or Memorex, as I was asked last night. But plans always to be live. Sometimes work schedule doesn't. But anyway, folks, have a great day. Enjoyed seeing you out there. Oops, welcome in. I'm glad to see you. I always like somebody coming in and getting involved and seeing a new name I haven't seen in the chat. But anyway, y'all have a great and wonderful day, and we will see you on the other side.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.